Hi, I'm Dempsey Palat, and this week I'm reviewing El Camino was written and directed by Vince Gilligan, who is most notable for creating the show Breaking Bad. Now, this film is actually a sequel to the series and follows Aaron Paul's Jesse Pinkman immediately after the events of the series finale. And I really enjoyed this film. I think it had a lot of great callbacks to the series, including a lot of familiar faces. And that's honestly what I think is one of the best things about the film, the fact that it provides every fan with absolute closure, especially the fans who thought that the series finale was left way too open-ended. For the most part, this film is very much on par with the series. Everything in terms of quality is identical. I'm talking the writing, the direction, the action, the character development. It is just seamlessly adapted for the film. But I also kind of think that that hurts it a bit. Because by the end of it, it honestly just does feel like an elongated episode of Breaking Bad. It definitely has its highs and its lows. In fact, it's very slow to start. However, once it does pick up, it does not let up. And that's one of the things that I really enjoyed about this film, the fact that it's less of a slow burn and much more of a domino effect. You see, the film follows Jesse over the course of a couple of days as he tries to pretty much do anything he can to get a fresh start, and this of course includes getting his financial situation in order and getting a car, just doing anything he can just to get out of town. But as he goes from point A to point B, things become increasingly difficult. He keeps running into new obstacles. And as tense as that can be at times, you know, as much as we as the audience feel that pressure alongside with him, we still want him to succeed, even though we know the odds are against him. And that to me is the kind of character development that the show had that just sucks you in. And once again, it succeeds in sucking you in again here. And that aspect of the film also really reminded me of another great film called Good Time by the Safdie Bros, which if you haven't seen, I highly recommend because it is further evidence that Robert Pattinson is an underrated actor. But I digress. Now, one of the things that I didn't like about this film, and I know it's kind of out of my control and that of pretty much everyone else's control, is just the way that some of the characters aged. And once again, I know it sounds ridiculous, but I don't know, it was really hard to suspend my disbelief at times, you know, to try and go along with this story taking place immediately after the series finale, which was like 5-6 years ago. So yeah, and I think it wasn't as bad for some characters as it was for others, and I'm talking particularly about Jesse Plemons, who, man, that guy has just aged considerably since the end of the show. Like, if you watch the series finale and then watch this movie back to back, which is kind of what I did, you'll definitely be able to tell just how much has changed. And that also kind of goes into another thing that I didn't really like about the film, and that was its heavy use of flashback. The first few times that flashbacks are used in the film is fine, right? But as time goes along, it definitely feels like the film becomes way too dependent on them. And don't get me wrong, flashbacks are great. They were actually a really big cornerstone of the series, but at least in the episodes that they were used in, you could take a flashback out and the story, or pretty much whatever was being told in that one episode, would still be able to stand just fine. Here, it seems as if the film is pretty much built on these flashbacks. Like, without them, I don't think the story would be as solid as it ultimately is. Overall, this is just a satisfactory epilogue to one of the best shows of all time. Like, I mean that, okay? Breaking Bad is 5 stars. Absolutely. But what I really like about this movie is the fact that it adds to the overall story while maintaining what made the show so great in the first place. It doesn't deviate from that, okay? I don't think any less of the show after having watched this movie. And in the process of, you know, showing us or reminding us how great the show is, it also brings to mind one of the biggest questions that I've wondered since seeing the show. Why isn't Aaron Paul in more things? And for that, I'm going to give this film 3.5 stars.
You ready? Yeah.
Guys, thanks so much for watching. As always, if you like this video, hit that like button, and if you're not subscribed, I would ask that you please subscribe. I post new videos weekly, and I'm always working on new stuff. As a matter of fact, I've got something very special planned for this weekend, so make sure you stay tuned, okay? But if you happen to see this movie, if you loved it, if you hated it, if you loved Breaking Bad, if you want to talk to me about that, tell me what your favorite episode is or who your favorite character was, feel free to do so in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear from all of you, and I look forward to talking to any of you. But yeah, thanks so much for taking the time out of your day to view this video. It really does mean the world to me. And I love making these videos for you guys, so I should probably get back to work. Until next time, I'm Dempsey Pallad. Take care.